and welcome to Grateful Sweat. I'm your teacher, Stephanie. Today we're going to be doing a beginner flow series, Sun Salutation A. This is one of the foundations of yoga. All of these poses go together. They also help you move to the next level in your yoga practice. So once you've mastered these poses, we can then move on to Sun Salutation B. And when you put both of these together, they become a full yoga practice. So the benefits of doing Sun Salutations are increased flexibility, more energy, weight loss, and just overall feeling really good about yourself. So when you're ready, let's go ahead and come to a comfortable seated position, whatever that looks like for you. So you can cross at the ankles. If that's a little bit too tight on your hip flexors, you can stretch your legs out in front of you. And whenever you find that comfortable seat, float your eyes closed and begin to settle in. Let go of anything that happened before this class, and let go of anything that may happen after. Any thoughts or to-do lists that are floating through your mind. With every exhale, let one of them go. So the goal here isn't really to empty the mind, but it's not to dwell on any of your thoughts as they enter your mind, right? It's not dwelling on the grocery list or maybe the baby screaming in the back, as long as they're safe, right? Enjoy this time for you. Now begin to change your breath. So with every inhale, fill up the space beneath your collarbones, down into your lungs, and even deeper into your low belly. So feel that belly expand here, really filling up, then pressing from the low belly up through the lungs, underneath the collarbones, and out through your mouth or nose. Good, and as you sit here, feel free to set an intention for your practice. So an intention is something that you can focus on. Maybe when a pose is getting challenging, maybe when you feel your mind start to wander back to that grocery or to-do list. This is something that helps keep you focused and motivated to stay with the pose, even if it is challenging. So an intention here is not a challenge. It's not, I'm going to hold this pigeon pose, I'm going to hold downward dog for as long as I possibly can, right? We're not challenging our bodies. An intention is more about inspiring, inspiration, perseverance, right? More of a motivation. So maybe your intention is simply to breathe, to be conscious of every single inhale and every exhale for the remainder of class. So whatever your intention is, set it now. Next inhale, really fill up with your intention. And exhale, sigh it out. Good, take one more deep breath in, filling up with that intention. And exhale, share it with the room. Next inhale, slowly float the eyes open. Good. From here, next inhale, reach both arms up over your head. Exhale, drop that right arm down, lean over to the right. And that's okay if you can't go that far. You really want to think about trying to keep both of your sit bones on the ground here. Good. Inhale brings you center. And exhale, drop the left arm down, reach good over to the left. Now again, it's okay if you can't go that far as long as you keep both of your sit bones grounded. Now if you can, right, maybe if you can go a little further, just go ahead and slightly bend that left elbow and sink a little bit deeper. Good, maybe gazing over to the left. Inhale brings you back center. Interlace your hands, flip your palms up to the ceiling. And exhale, slowly float the hands down. Good, so let's go ahead and come into a tabletop position. Good, so if you are practicing on a hard surface, which I do recommend, practicing on carpet is not my favorite, but if you are practicing on a hard surface and it's causing your knees a little bit of trouble, just go ahead and fold up your mat or a blanket, and that will provide a little bit of extra cushion, right? You do not want to beast through knee pain. It's really uncomfortable. Knee surgery is very expensive, takes a very long time to recover. So if you are feeling any pain in the knees, any pressure, go ahead and create a buffer between you and the floor. So let's go ahead, come into that tabletop position. And you want to think of yourself like a table. You are stacked shoulders over elbows, elbows over wrists, and hips over knees. Right? Toes can either be tucked or untucked. That is completely up to you. So from here, we're going to do a few cat-cows. So on an inhale, heart lift, stick your booty out, cow pose. Exhale, curl up. Cat, really pull your belly button back towards your spine, really pressing down through the palms of your hands. Good, inhale, cow, heart lifts. Exhale, curl up, cat. Good, one more time, inhale, cow. And exhale, curl up, cat. Good, one more time just because it feels nice. Inhale, heart shines forward. Exhale, curl up like a little Halloween cat. Good, inhale brings you back center, neutral spine. So I just want you to check in here with your low back, just so you can see. So as women, we often have a tendency to kind of sink into our hips, right? Sink into that booty here. And I really want you to think about being one long line, right? From the middle of your back, so in between your shoulder blades, out through your tailbone. So if your head is dropped, right? If you're looking in between your hands, you are one long line from the crown of your head out through the tailbone. So it may feel like you're rounding your back here, but your spine is actually straight. Good. So just checking in. Very nice. So from here, next exhale, bring your right ear to your right shoulder and now sit into that right hip. Inhale, center. Exhale, drop that left ear to the left shoulder. Inhale, center. Good. One more time. Exhale, right ear, right shoulder. So you want to think about like you're making the letter C with your body. Inhale, center. Exhale, lift your left shoulder. Inhale, brings you back center. Good. From here, bring the big toes together. Spread your knees out wide. Exhale, sit your hips to your heels, child's pose. Good. So while you are in this pose, I really want you to just think about breathing. So with the knees spread wide, that really gives space for your belly to really expand here. So child's pose is a really great grounding pose. If you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling overwhelmed, right? Child's pose is a really great place to come. You are flush with the ground, so it really helps with feeling grounded and safe and secure. Child's pose is also really great for stretching out the tops of the feet and the toes, right? So often our toes are always flexed, right? We're standing, we're walking, maybe we're running, we're doing all kinds of things, but we do not spend a lot of time in a counter stretch to kind of stretch out those muscles. So child's pose is really great for that. And also child's pose is a great shoulder stretch if your arms are stretched out in front of you, right? If this is too much, hands can come by your sides while you rest your forehead, right, on the mat. Good. So just spending a couple of breaths here in child's pose, maybe remembering your intention. And it's okay if your booty is kind of hovering, right? Over time, eventually your hips will sit closer to your heels. For me, if it's early in the morning or if my muscles aren't completely warm, my booty will hover just a little bit above my heels. Good. From here, we're going to add in a little bit of movement. So next, exhale, walk both of your hands over to the right. So we're stretching out the left side body here. Now, it's okay if you don't feel anything in this left side. Over time, you will, right? Just really think about breathing into that left side. Good. Inhale brings you back center. Pause here for one deep belly breath. And exhale, walk both of your hands over to the left. Good. Inhale brings you back center. One more deep breath here. And just sigh it out. Good. Let's just do this one more time. So inhale in your child's pose. And exhale, sigh it out. Good. From here, next inhale, we're going to go ahead and come back to our tabletop, right? So remember, being stacked, being one long line from the crown of your head out through the tailbone. From here, next inhale, tuck those toes, lift your hips up to the ceiling, coming into your first downward facing dog. Good. Now, because this is the first one, it's okay if your stance is a little bit shorter. Right? We're just really warming up those hamstrings here in the low back. So if you would like to pedal out those heels, you may. Good. Take one more deep breath here. Then next, inhale, walk your feet up to your hands. Good. So we're resting in a forward fold here. So I want you to take a deep bend in those knees. See if you can rest your belly on your thighs, right? If you can't, just get as close as you can. Good, so this is helping to stretch out the low back, right? It's also taking some of the pressure off of your hamstrings. So we're just easing ourselves into these poses, really waking the body up here. Good. Now hands, you have a couple of options. You can hold on to your calves if you like. You can grab opposite elbows, allow your body weight to bring you a little bit deeper into the pose. You can also interlace your hands, place them behind your head, and just allow them to help you stretch out the back of your neck. Just whatever feels more comfortable for you. Right? And this may change from day to day. The more often you do this, you may find that one day you do need a little bit more of a neck stretch. Maybe the next day you find you're a little bit more flexible, so holding on to those elbows actually allows you to go a little bit deeper. Good, so from here, next exhale, we're going to slowly straighten the legs. Good. Saying good morning to those little hammies. So from here, maybe you just slowly begin to sway from side to side like a tree in the breeze, right? We're adding just a little bit of movement to this pose. Just helping it not be so static. Good, next exhale. If you've grabbed opposite elbows or interlaced your hands, release them. Take a deep bend in those knees, and then next exhale, slowly roll to a stand. Head and neck are the last to lift. All right, hello, good morning. So, go ahead and come to the top of your mat. I'm just standing at the back just so that you can see me. So we are coming into our first pose in our Sun Salutation A, Tadasana. This is mountain pose. So when you think about mountains, what do you think about? They're really strong, they're immovable, like no wind, snow, sleet, right? None of that, nothing moves a mountain. Mountains don't shift around, right? So I want you to think about that and really channel that in your own mountain pose. So feet are right under the shoulders. You want both toes pointed forward. You really want to ground down through the four corners of the feet. So the way I like to do this is on an inhale, you're going to lift up all 10 toes. And then on an exhale, lower them down. This really helps to grip the mat, right? And then from here, you really want to pull that belly button back towards the spine here. Really keeping a strong, nice, engaged core. And then shoulders rolled away from your ears and down your back. Palms of your hands are facing forward. Hands are slightly apart, right? They're engaged, but they're not crazy, right? They're not, I think of it as like when you've had too much caffeine and you're kind of wired. Your hands aren't like that. They're relaxed, but they're engaged, they're focused. Good, heart is shining forward. And I want you to imagine a string from the crown of your head pulling you up towards the ceiling. Good, this is your Tadasana mountain pose. So I want you to spend a couple of breaths here and just really feel the strength, right? Just really appreciate your body and everything that it does for you. And you can start, from the toes up. So just really thanking your feet for carrying you throughout the day. And not just carrying you, carrying your groceries, carrying you from place to place in the kitchen, carrying food from the kitchen to the dinner table, just carrying you through life, right? And then maybe you think about your hands and everything that they do for you, things that they get off of shelves, or, you know, maybe the hugs that they give the people that you care about, and little belly scratches for your puppy, just all of the wonderful things that your hands do. Good. I also want to take a moment here, and I want you to just check in with your booty. So I want you to make sure you're not clenching it, right? Glutes are relaxed. Good. From here, next inhale, we're going to sweep our arms up. And then exhale, fold forward. So really think about keeping a flat back here. You're going to be able to feel this in the hamstrings. And then come all the way into your forward fold. Good, just taking a couple of deep breaths here. Again, choosing your own arm placement. Very nice. From here, next inhale, place your hands on your shins, lift up halfway. So again, think about being one long line from the crown of your head out through your tailbone. Good. Exhale, release. We'll do this one more time. So inhale, palms on shins, lift up halfway. Exhale, release. Good. From here, plant your hands, step back, coming into a plank. Next exhale, slow with control, lower all the way down. Good, to the mat. So untuck those toes. You want elbows pointed behind you, right? I always think of them, I don't know why, but like little grasshopper legs. So elbows pointed back behind you. Hands are in line with your chest, right? From here, next inhale, we're just going to lift the chest for baby cobra. Good. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale, heart lifts for baby cobra. So this is helping to warm up the low back. Again, it's also that little counter stretch for the feet. We're also kind of warming up those little triceps here. Good. Exhale, release. Good. Pausing here for a breath. Good. And then next inhale, tuck those toes, press through the hands, lifting up and back for your downward facing dog. Good, so we are going to spend a couple of breaths in down dog. Traditionally in Sun Sal A, you spend 5 breaths. So as I'm kind of breaking down this pose, if you need to drop to your knees and take a child's pose, feel free, right? This is your practice. You know your body better than anyone else, so don't force it, right? Some of these poses may be very new to you. So if you need to take a moment, take a breath, reconnect, that's completely fine. So in down dog, I want you to take a peek at your hands, right? So you really want to press through the L of the hand, through your thumb and pointer finger of each hand. Good. All right, so I want you to bend those knees and just take a seat really quickly. So hand placement is so important in yoga poses. It really helps protect your joints, so specifically your wrists, your hands, your elbows, your shoulders. Arm placement is so important, especially when you start to get into more advanced poses. You're beginning to put more weight on them. Even in this downward dog, a lot of your body weight is going into the hands. So I want you to look at my hands, right? And you can do this with me unless, you know, somebody's watching, that's fine. So if you're in down dog, and this hurts your wrists, it is okay to slightly turn your fingers inward, right? That will maybe be better aligned for your wrist. You don't want them completely in, but just a slight turn in. And then, like I said previously, you want the weight in your thumb and your pointer fingers. You really don't want to be on the outside pinkies, because as you practice more and more often, eventually your hands will start to do this and they'll come off the mat, and you are putting so much strain on the outside of the hand and really in the forearm, and that is not great. Over time, you can really tweak that wrist. Maybe you get a little tendonitis, and so you really want to make sure you're pressing down through the thumb and pointer finger. It's also okay to really grip with the fingers, right? So one day, eventually, right, in a time very far, far away, if you ever get to a handstand, you grip with your fingers, right? And the palm of the hand may even actually come up off of the mat a little bit. So that's why you want to keep the weight, right, in the L's of the hands, but also if you need to, just really grip with those fingers. All right, so that was my little down dog PSA. So let's go ahead and come back to the pose. So tabletop is just a really great way to enter because you're already lined up. So your hands are already underneath the shoulders. Like I said before, if you need to turn your fingers in slightly towards one another, you can. Tuck the toes, and on an inhale, lift those hips up and back. So really think about, if you've got tight shoulders like me, really think about letting your head hang in between your shoulders. Good, so you don't want to be shifted forward. See how here my head is past my arms. You really want to press through and see if you can get your ear parallel, or both ears, hopefully you have two ears, really parallel with your shoulders. Good, and then from here, let's talk about the feet. So I don't know if you can tell, my mat's curled up a little bit here at the end. My heels don't actually touch the floor. I have been doing yoga for years and years. I've been teaching for 5, and my heels have yet to touch the mat, right? And they probably never will. And that's okay. Our bodies are built differently, so don't feel like you've got to force your heels down, or you're a bad yogi or a bad person if your heels don't touch the mat. Good, and again, if this is a lot on the hammies, you can take a slight bend in those knees, and then on an exhale, slowly straighten those legs back. Good, take one more deep breath here. I know your arms are burning, your legs are burning. You're like, Stephanie, please be quiet. Next, inhale, walk your hands up towards your feet. We're coming back into a forward fold. Good, from here, next inhale, place your hands on your shins, lift up halfway with that flat back again. Good, and exhale, fold forward. Good, from here, next inhale, sweep your arms back up over your head, and exhale, bring your palms to heart center. Very nice. Okay, so that was a breakdown of your Sun Salutation A. So we'll do it again, just a little bit faster so you can kind of feel the flow. So there are a couple of options, and as you progress in your practice, we'll add on to those. So I won't get into them today. If you have any questions, if you're practicing on your own and there's a pose that you're either not familiar with or it doesn't look like what we've done here today, just leave me a comment, drop me a note, and I will address that and provide you a variation. So let's go ahead, find our little Tadasana, right? Mountain pose. So everything is engaged, everything is sucked in, tucked in. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, palms on shins, lifts up with a flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, plank. And slowly lower all the way down. Good, to the mat, untuck those toes. Inhale, heart lifts, baby cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Good, remember we're gonna hold here for 5 deep belly breaths. Child's pose is always, always available to you if you need it. Good, next inhale, come up high on the toes, weight shifts forward into the hands and tiptoe up. Good, and it's okay, right? As you're tiptoeing up, it is okay if you need to walk your hands in to meet your feet as well, right? Over time, as your flexibility increases, you'll be able to leave your hands where they are. Inhale, palms on shins, lift up halfway. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, palms to heart center. Excellent. Okay, so we're gonna do this one more time. I am just gonna do pose names, right? I'm gonna stop chatting it up and just allow us to flow, and really just for you to feel your body as it flows from pose to pose, so you can really just feel what the sensation is like. So let's go ahead, come back to that mountain pose, grounding down through all 4 corners of the feet. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step back plank, and slowly lower all the way down. Good, to the mat, untuck the toes. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, release. Inhale, tuck the toes, press up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come up on the toes, tiptoe up to the hands. Inhale, palms on shins, lift you up halfway. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep the arms up, gazing at the ceiling. And exhale, palms to heart center. Very nice. Let's go ahead, take a seat on our mat. Good, so great job. I hope you are feeling a little warm, you're feeling energized. Sun Salutation A is a great way to just really get in the flow, get your body moving, get it grooving. If you do 5 rounds of this, maybe in the morning or right before you go to bed, it really helps kind of with overall mobility. It gets your body moving. So if you have a really sedentary job, or even if you don't, on your off days where the last thing you really want to do is work out, doing a couple rounds of Sun Sal A will just really get your body moving and feeling good. So take this time, if you like, to do a meditation. So come to a comfortable seated position, right? Whatever that looks like for you. Float the eyes closed and inhale your palms together at heart center. My name is Stephanie. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. It was an honor to share my practice with you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.